I have gathered so much of experience. I am now, of course, in the health and wellness space. I see huge potential in that. I am looking to, develop collaborations and businesses in that area in the future. The health and wellness sector is poised for, explosive growth, definitely in the next coming decade.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of FaceTime with Leaders, brought to you by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Bancholi, and today we have a very special guest with us. We are diving into the world of business development, global partnerships, and entrepreneurship with a seasoned professional who has had an impactful career spanning multiple industries and continents. Today's guest has not only driven millions in business, but also transformed lives through his work in health and wellness. He has been at the forefront of complex projects, managed cross functional teams, and established businesses that are making waves across sectors. So, whether you are an entrepreneur, a business leader, or someone interested in growth and innovation, this conversation promises to offer valuable insights, inspiring stories, and practical wisdom. Without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Avinash Hebsooru to the podcast. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. Good morning, Sunny. Thank you for inviting me. I am really happy and looking forward to our conversation today.
Great. So, Mr. Avinash, you have had such a dynamic journey from leading large-scale projects in thermal power plants to building successful ventures in the health and wellness space. So, when you look back at your career, what moments or milestones stand out the most? And what did that experience teach you about the power of adapting to new challenges?
Well, that's an interesting question that you pose. When I reflect on my career, I see it more defined by key turning points rather than milestones, Sunny, right? So I started my career as an employee in Siemens Limited. At Siemens, I worked on boiler automation projects for STPPs, that is, super thermal power projects, right, in India. And internationally, I was also given the opportunity to work with Siemens in Germany for a couple of years, and then Siemens South Korea, where one of the projects was getting executed. So these assignments were challenging and taught me valuable skills, I would say, about teamwork, negotiation, and also adapting to diverse cultural environments. Because in Germany, precision and meeting deadlines were critical. Whereas in South Korea, if you see culturally, respect for hierarchy was a very significant value. But at the time when I was working there, in fact, the work culture was such that they worked as if there were 8 days in a week, right? So really hardworking guys. So my first turning point was when I actually left Siemens to start my own industrial automation business. I would say leaving Siemens was a bold decision. It was rewarding to design and implement solutions while learning to think like a business owner. The mindset change was very important for me to have. However, after about 7 years, I think in my business, a major order went south due to the non-performance, I would say, of an equipment which was supplied by my principal. So this setback became my next turning point, where actually I joined a local family-owned private company as a marketing and business head called as BFL Hydro. Now, BFL Hydro is an EPC company in the small hydro space, right? So hydropower was a completely new domain for me, but within a year, I was able to pick up the nuances and the technicalities. And in the first 10 months itself, I was able to close 2 significant orders, all on my own, which was a first for the company, I must say, because up until that time, all the orders were being closed by the managing director, who was obviously the owner of the company. And I believe that my entrepreneurial mindset played a key role in this and empowering the team to take ownership while remaining accountable. So these are the 2 turning points. There was a next turning point where, of course, I shifted from BFL onto an entirely new career, which is in the health and wellness space, which I think we'll talk a bit more after some minutes. Yeah.
Great, Mr. Avinash. It's fascinating how those pivotal moments shape your approach to both personal and professional growth. It sounds like you have been able to leverage those experiences to thrive in such diverse fields. Absolutely. So, you have been a driving force in global business development, particularly in the power generation industry. So, could you walk us through one of the most challenging markets you have led and how you managed to meet the critical deadlines?
Yeah, so as a global business development head in BFL Hydro, I think one of my, I would say, toughest challenges was penetrating the Latin American and the East European markets. I also developed partnerships in Asia and Africa, but I think Latin America and Eastern Europe were challenging. In Latin America, I think we faced a perception challenge, I would say, right? Customers compared us either to Chinese manufacturers on price or European manufacturers on quality, right? So to overcome this, we partnered with local representatives, and that was our strategy. And we started engaging with customers very early in their projects, because you see, if small hydro projects take a long time between the DPR, which is the detailed project report, until the time, the power plant is built and commissioned. Typically it would be about 5-6 years, right? So we started engaging with our potential customers at a very early stage, and we started showing them how we could improve the IRRs, which is the internal rate of return on their projects. So we started building ourselves, as with the trust with the customers in that area, and we differentiated ourselves from the others, by building this credibility, by engaging with them. So this strategy not only won us contracts, and now I think we have many projects there in Latin America, but we paved the way for other Indian manufacturers to starting having business in Latin America, which until our time, no Indian company was actually doing business in Latin America. In Eastern Europe, the challenge was, I think, trust, because Indian companies were unproven in the engineering domain in that region. So my first visit to Albania, I remember, resulted in a very successful project, which became the foundation for almost now 20 subsequent projects, I would say, in that region. Yeah, establishing credibility through delivery was, I would say, key to unlocking this market for us.
Great, Mr. Avinash. Managing markets and the tight deadlines can be incredibly stressful, but it sounds like your leadership and strategic thinking really made the difference.
Yeah, I mean, definitely all these challenges have helped me develop as a person also, and my leadership skill, cross-functional, because in a power project, you have marketing, you have project head, and you have procurement. So cross-functional interaction helped me a lot, actually, of all my leadership capabilities, and I can say that much.
Also, you have been at the forefront of driving substantial business growth, particularly with over 150 crores in international collaborations, right, Mr. Avinash?
Yes. That has happened primarily due to our strategic partnerships, especially in the new markets that we entered. We decided that we cannot be on our own, and we needed local people to convey to the customers in those markets what we actually stand for. I think that those partnerships actually helped us to grow long term in those markets.
So, talking about forging those partnerships, especially in industries like power and engineering, what do you believe are the core principles or values that truly make this global partnerships successful? Also, part B is, how do you navigate the complexities of building trust and long-term relationship in such high-stake environments?
Sunny, firmly believe that a company's longevity depends on its core values, right? While operational strategies can evolve with market dynamics, values should remain constant. At BFL Hydro, where I worked, our core value was building lasting relationships, right? That was our core value. And so whenever we built partnerships, we looked for other companies who had the same ethics and ethos to work with us as partners. This guided our partnerships with many companies across different markets also. For instance, I'll just take an example. Also, in a project, what happened was there was an equipment which failed, and we had to replace it. But the warranty was already out, right? So the equipment was out of warranty, and the equipment failed, but we replaced the equipment at no cost to the customer, even though it was a significant cost. Not because we were, contractually obliged to replace it, but because it was the right thing to do, because it failed just after warranty. Okay, so this is how we actually build trust using core values of the company, right? So trust, I think, is not built when you win an order. I have won many orders, right? So that's not the time that you actually build trust. The trust is built during the execution itself, at least in the engineering field, because it takes time for a project to come to fruition, right, till it is commissioned. So by meeting deadlines, adapting to challenges, and delivering on promises, this approach has actually helped me grow as a leader, and also get the business that we actually need, and also building long-term partnerships, because we got repeat businesses from the same customer, and they became our proponents with other customers. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Mr. Avinash, you have clearly developed a deep understanding of what makes these global partnerships work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is a learning process because, it was absolutely new. Building global business was very new to me. Up until that time, until I joined BFL, I never stepped out to get business outside the country. So it's been a learning curve through me throughout my career, all the time.
Great. Also, I would like to discuss with you is, after a successful career in business development and driving global partnerships, you made the inspiring transition into health and wellness space with Ascend. That's a huge shift, actually. So, what was it that sparked your passion for this new direction? And how did your rich background in business development and coaching help shape your approach to training over 20 coaches and impacting the lives of more than 1,000 clients in targeted nutrition?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting story, but let me be very brief in that. The third turning point in my career, of course, like you mentioned, was to shift my focus into building a business in the health and wellness space. This is a direction I wouldn't have imagined 20 years ago, okay? But looking back, it definitely makes sense, because I've always been very passionate regarding physical fitness personally. And instinctively, I've always been eating fairly healthily, I would say, right? So the two components for health and wellness were already there within me. But the turning point actually came when my father, despite having a very healthy lifestyle and a lifelong yoga practitioner, I would say, met with a massive heart attack, and he underwent bypass surgery also. And but he was taking a lot of medication, but his recovery only improved after taking some nutritional supplements given by a close family friend. And then that sparked my interest on what kind of impact nutrition can really have on a person's health, right? And that's where my deep dive into health and nutrition started. And now for over a decade now, I've been coaching clients. I've been coaching other coaches using, my engineering background has helped me, because, of course, I use a systems approach. Now, if you see most of the time today in the so-called healthcare system, there are people who are targeting issues of health in silos. Okay, so they just focus on different silos of health, whereas I really feel that the health is a holistic approach. There are so many interlinkages between different aspects of our life that impact our health, right? So drawing from engineering and business backgrounds, I've been able to forge these partnerships. I've built collaborations with other wellness experts offering holistic solutions for health and transformation. So this journey, I would say, Sandy, has been deeply fulfilling, as helping someone improve their health is, I think, for me, far more gratifying than achieving some financial metrics.
Great. You have successfully led businesses in such diverse sectors, from power plants to health and wellness. And each of these industries requires a very different kind of approach. So, how do you identify business opportunities when entering a new sector? And what's the strategy that's helped you navigate such a wide range of markets, ensuring success across them all?
Okay, so personally speaking, of course, I entered these markets, of course, in the first two instances because I was working for someone. And there, of course, we explore different markets based on the potential required for our equipment in those markets. We did a detailed study, right? So I think entering in the new market or sector requires 3 key steps. At least in my case, that's what we did. Studying the market potential, identifying the trends. There could be potential, but the trend might not have picked up. So identifying the trends and establishing partnerships for sustainability. Because without partnerships, I don't believe we can be big in any area, right? In any sector, we need people to work with, who would be along with us on that journey. Either as helping us in the same market or as supportive, right? So this approach has been constant in my career, because even in my career, I've taken support. Even in my role as business development, I've taken help from other agencies that could help me expand into newer markets. Especially in Latin America, you can't just sit in India and find out what's happening in those markets, right? So we need people, and we have to leverage those kinds of partnerships. And even in, for example, today, if you take highly competitive industries like the automobile sector, right, where competitors such as Maruti and Toyota are collaborating, and partnerships on a common, drive platform. I think people like us should be open to collaborations and working with partnerships.
Rightly said, Mr. Avinash. And it's fascinating how we have been able to bridge such diverse sectors, each with its own set of challenges.
Yeah, I mean, different sectors, different, and it's always been a learning. And I'm a keen learner, and I learn. I'm very fascinated about learning new things. I think it should be a lifelong journey for people to learn new things and excel in those areas as well.
Absolutely. And since you mentioned that you are a keen learner, this makes me ask you, with all the success you have already achieved in multiple industries, what are your aspirations for the future?
Well, I have gathered so much of experience. I am now, of course, in the health and wellness space. I see huge potential in that. I am looking to develop collaborations and businesses in that area in the future. The health and wellness sector is poised for explosive growth, definitely in the next coming decade, for sure. My aspirations are also, now the reason I am with you on this call, etc., is to see how I can actually contribute in a small way for other companies who can expand into global businesses. I can provide my valuable inputs, and my experience can probably serve other smaller startups, companies who would need this, and some kinds of inputs from my side would definitely be helpful. And I'm willing to provide those kinds of inputs to other companies if they need it.
So are there any new ventures or challenges you are excited to tackle?
No, I think challenges wise, I think like I mentioned, health and wellness sector is a very exciting field for me to look at. Advances in research and technology, especially, are enabling more targeted and effective health interventions, particularly in longevity and aging. Very soon, I think in the next 5 years, aging itself is going to be declared as a condition, okay? Because by aging, you have many other challenges, health challenges coming along with it. So I'm excited about this development, Sunny, and eager to contribute by leveraging emerging technologies and therapies, because there's tremendous potential in solutions outside of current mainstream medicine. I truly believe in that. And I'm looking forward to playing maybe key role with a couple of startups I'm already engaged with, and with more new companies.
So Avinash, you have already achieved so much, and it's exciting to think about what the future holds for you.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, the future is bright, I would say.
Absolutely. Talking about corporate governance, it is often considered the backbone of any successful organization. So how do you see its role in shaping business strategies, and why do you think it's essential for leaders in today's world to prioritize governance?
Sunny, I'm lucky to be part of 2 companies which had very good governance, I would say. Siemens Limited is a global leader in its own field. They have now been caught on the wrong foot. And BFL Hydro, of course, I told you the key, value itself is building long-term relationships, right? I think good governance, Sunny, is essential for any organization's long-term success, right? It builds trust with the stakeholders, and I think fosters transparency and ensures ethical practices within the company. For example, a simple thing, in fact, this can have trickle-down effect even on day-to-day working within the company. Right. For example, I have seen how transparent appraisal systems can motivate employees and how a culture of integrity within the company strengthens to build business relationship. A simple gesture of a person, employee not taking gifts itself from a vendor is a fantastic, thing. This signals a great thing that a culture as a culture for that company. Okay, governance isn't, I think, just a set of rules. Right, it's a mindset, that drives accountability, sustainability, and growth.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mr. Avinash, it's clear that corporate governance is more than just set of rules. It's a fundamental approach to leadership.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a fundamental approach to leadership. It's a mindset, and it should be, dealt with the right spirit, because it's not just the letters, it's not just the rules. Like I said, it's something that you imbibe and it should be a part of you.
Rightly said, Mr. Avinash. And thank you so much for sharing your invaluable insights with us today. From your entrepreneurial journey to your expertise in business development and leadership, it's clear that your experience not only spans industries, but also has left a lasting impact on the people and organizations you have worked with. Your journey is truly inspiring, Mr. Avinash, and I'm sure our viewers will walk away with a renewed sense of perspective and drive.
I really appreciate this time and opportunity, of course, to have this conversation with you, Sunny. And yes, I'm really glad that have been able to make in the past some impact in the companies that where I have worked, and also in my current role and avatar, I would say, the health and wellness space, impacting people at a personal level. I think I'm really satisfied in where I'm going, and I'm looking forward to, like we discussed, newer challenges and newer opportunities going forward.
Great to hear that. So as we wrap up today's episode of FaceTime with Leaders, we are reminded of the power of resilience, adaptability, and leadership. Mr. Avinash, thank you once again for being here and for your contribution to the world of business. We wish you continued success in all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Thank you very much for having me on this call and having this conversation with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for watching. Until next time, keep leading with purpose. Thank you and have a nice time.